Hey, it's Tara with Reiki on the Run, and today I want to talk to you about following your path. So, there is some exciting news about your path. You're always on it, so you haven't missed it, you haven't fallen off of it, can't fall off of it, you don't have to find it. It's there, you're always on it. It's a matter of if you're going to take the path of least resistance or if you're going to throw rocks in your path and create issues. So let's get started. So we want to obviously be on the path of least resistance and not be throwing rocks on our path. And so I have a couple of ways that we do throw rocks on our path that I want to mention. And one is overthinking. You know, we're taught to analyze and be logical, and which, you know, can come in handy in certain situations, but we are very much overthinkers. We're pros and cons, and we're worried about what everyone else is going to think. And so we can have great inspiration and great ideas and desires and completely talk ourselves out of them by overthinking everything. So overthinking is one. And then another is listening to others. You know, nothing kills a dream like talking to people about it. You know, whether it's talking to people about it and getting their ideas and agendas mixed in, or worrying about what other people will think. It's just involving other people. And one thing to remember that ties in with that is that everyone has their own path. And I can't tell you the best way to go on your path any more than you can tell me mine, because I only have my own experiences. So if I've experienced certain things, that you haven't necessarily done that, and it just won't work. So there's no use. You should take it off the table that anyone else should be considered in your decisions that you make in following your path. So I have a couple of examples. Of course, I have my notes down here because it's not feeling good to follow my path if I have to edit videos. So I have a couple of examples of things that might come up. Dating, you know, maybe you met someone who you completely connect with and everything is wonderful, and this person just makes you feel alive, and it's just wonderful and great. But then you get to thinking, well, oh, maybe this person has some tattoos and you don't think your parents would approve, or they don't make a lot of money in their job. They're not at the same level as you, and maybe your friends would disapprove. So something like that, where it feels good when you're with this person, but then you let all these other outside things, and you know, what we focus on grows, and we create our own reality with our thoughts. So if you continue to think these negative things about what other people will think, it will change your vibration towards this person instead of focusing on the wonderful things that are there. And so that has an effect on your outcome. And if your path would be, it feels good to go with this person, to be with this person, and it's all the outside forces that are changing that. That's right there. That's a big one. You're setting up resistance on your path. Your path would be to be with this person because it feels right, and that would be taking away from it. So another one would be, say you wanted to move somewhere amazing that rocks your world, and it would be an adventure and different experiences, and for whatever reason you want to move, but maybe you have parents that live close by and you don't want them to be upset, or you feel like it would be a hardship for them, or it's another thing. You know, where you want to live should be up to you, and you should be following your joy, following your path, a path of least resistance, not being consumed with what others are going to think about it and how it's going to affect them, because it is your path. So another one I have is a job. Maybe there's a job that you would love to take, but it's not going to pay as much as what others would want. Maybe it doesn't have a title that you think others would approve of, or it wouldn't afford you the brand new car that you think that you need to have, you know, all these different things. So, I mean, it's fine if you want the new car, and that's great, but if that's not a concern to you, and it is to other people, you know, I have an older used car, and I've had new cars and had a Mustang and a Harley and all that good stuff, and it's great, but it's what's on your path right now. Right now, for me, I want to be home when my kids get home from school. I don't want to be stuck at work somewhere and driving in traffic and all that good stuff. So it works for me to not have the super duper job with all those things just so I can drive around in a new car because I don't care. So it's okay to want those things and it's okay to have those things. They're wonderful, but it's your path. It's completely up to you, whatever you think and feel and want. So let's see here. Stop including people in your decisions. The more people that you include, the more agendas you are and the more convoluted your path will be. Like I said, nobody else can tell you, if I give you advice, if my friend wanted to move, I would give her advice based on me. I have an agenda, and if I really like her and I want her to stay here, I'm probably gonna not be as excited for her. No, I would be, but you know what I mean. People have their own agendas, they have their own experiences, and that's what they're gonna filter that through. So making others happy is a great, noble idea, and it's wonderful that you wish to include other people and you want them to not be hurt by your decisions or affected at all, and you want them to be happy. But it is your path. This is your life. We get one lifetime in this body, and so it's about following your path, not figuring anyone else's out, and not letting anyone decide yours. So how do we know? How do we know if we're following our path? It feels good if we are. Feels good. We have a thing called an internal guidance system, and our emotions work for us in that way. If we feel resistance, if we don't feel good, if we are in any emotional turmoil, that's our emotional guidance system telling us this is not right. If it feels good, if we feel in love, if it bursts our heart wide open, if it makes us smile and laugh, we are in alignment, we are centered, we are following our path. And that's a good thing. But, take the example with if you're dating someone and everything about it feels wonderful and you feel wonderful with them. And it feels good when you think about that aspect. But then if you start thinking, oh, these tattoos are my parents aren't gonna like that. That does not feel good. That feels a little icky. That's because you're not in alignment with your inner being, and your inner being knows what you want. So that's not going to feel good. So pay attention to the internal guidance system. It's okay to not feel good. That just means that it's not in alignment. It means you're going the wrong way, and go back towards what was making you feel good. Okay? So practice. Start small. Talked about this before, starting with little things, and do I want to go here? Or do I want to go there? And really listening, checking in. In another video I'd said, listen to these 2 sentences and see how your body feels, and I'll say them again. So the first sentence is, I cannot pay my bills and I'm broke. Now feel how it feels when I say, I'm always taken care of. I live in abundance. 2 different feelings, right? So that's how we know. One of them doesn't feel good, that's resistance. One of them feels good, that's how you know you're following your path. So you can't get off your path. You're always going to be pulled towards what you want. Your inner being knows what you want. And you are always being pulled towards what you want. We're the only ones that'll just throw shit down in front of us to keep us from getting there. So be careful, don't throw those rocks down. We're heading towards what we want. So how do we go towards what we want? How do we follow our path? The first most important thing is we need to intend to follow our path without resistance. Intention is like activation. We can learn things all day and think of things all day and wonder about them, but we have to actually intend. So you have to actually sit down and say, okay, I want to follow my path with the least amount of resistance. That's what my plan is. Intend it. Intention is like activation. And you can ask the universe for signs, universe, God, whatever it is you want to call it, source. I don't like to get hung up too much on that because I know those are trigger words for people. Some people you say universe, it freaks them out. Some people you say God, it freaks them out. Whatever, your inner being. Don't get hung up on that. Don't get triggered. Follow what it is. Ask the universe, whatever, for signs. We have this whole free will thing, and if we don't ask for help, we can't get it. So if you ask for signs to be shown to you, they will be. It's amazing. So what kind of signs? How your body feels. Like I just did that little exercise and check in with your body and how it feels. Does it feel good? Does it feel a little resistant? That's a huge thing. And you can just ask yourself. I sometimes I just say, if I have a question, yes, blah, 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 blah. No, blah, 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 blah. And one will feel better, and that will be my answer. Now, I've been practicing this a long time, and I can do it very quickly and easily. But you have to practice it. What else? What other signs from the universe? You'll meet people. People will be placed at the exact same time you are somewhere. These are not coincidences. These are synchronicities. There's no accidents. People will be placed in front of you. Situations, opportunities will present themselves. It's not coincidences. You need to pay attention to these things. Like I said, the universe knows what you want, and you're always being pulled towards what you desire, and things will be placed in front of you. But, if people are placed in front of you, but you talk yourself out of it, you're just throwing away what you're being pulled towards. We're constantly being pulled towards these things every day. You're surrounded by signs. You're given opportunities, and you just have to check in and feel and follow that. Also, songs on the radio. Listen to things. Sometimes you just get this urge and pay attention to songs you hear, signs you see on the road, and you can really connect them to what's going on if you want answers to things. Just tons of ways that you can tell. Synchronicities are amazing if you start listening to them. So you must be in flow. You must allow. A lot of times we ask for things, or we pray, or we desire things, but then we don't allow. We don't get in flow, and we don't allow those things to happen. Like I said, you will be presented with people in your life and opportunities in your life, and if you don't follow up on that, it's kind of on you. You've got to go with that feeling, with that understanding, with that knowing of allowing and knowing that these good things are coming to you. A lot of times we get hung up on life being stressful and everything's got to be a struggle, and it's not. It doesn't have to be. We want all these things, and it's good to have desires. It's very good to have desires, but we have to allow things to come in. We have to allow the good things. We have to allow the answers to our questions and prayers and these situations. We have to allow them. As long as we resist, we're just shutting everything out. So be mindful. So I like to imagine my path as like a big rainbow, and it has tons of pots of gold and treasure and things like that. And the quicker I go through this, the quicker I get all these amazing things that I've wanted. So they're all my desires stuck along this rainbow, and I can either throw the rocks down, or I can be in flow and just slide along that sucker and start collecting all my treasures and pots of gold. And that's in the form of so many things. That's in the form of meeting beautiful people and having wonderful conversations and just being in the right place at the right time and allowing those things to happen and seeking them out and appreciate them. Appreciating them is huge. That allows us to continue that flow. All right, so last thing that I want to say is that the universe knows your desires. Every time we experience something bad, we create in our mind something good that we want. This isn't what we want. We want something good. And so we create it in our mind. And if we can create it in our mind, we can have it, because we are creators. And so just remember that the universe knows what you want. You're on your path. Everything is out there that you want. You just have to allow it to come in. Okay? Don't get upset if you have bad experiences. It's only through that contrast that we create the good that we want. And then remember to allow it to come in. So hopefully this has helped clear things up. Hopefully you are following your path and in a non-resistant way. And hope this has helped. If anybody hasn't told you, I love you, and I will talk to you soon.